Hello and welcome, I'm Matthias from mamoworld.com and I want to give you a quick overview of how automation blocks for Premiere Pro works. So here we have automation blocks open in Premiere Pro, and in order to have an example to work with, let's drag some footage I have here into the active sequence. Now those images have a much higher resolution than the sequence itself, and to scale them down we could for example use the automation blocks tool, selected clips, set scale to fit or fill frame size. If you select a tool here in the library, the inputs panel shows the user interface of that tool. This tool, for example, comes with an option to choose how to scale the clips exactly. Currently it is set to fill, and if we select the clips and run the tool, as you can see, the images fill the sequence nicely. If we set it to fit frame instead, you can see the black bars at the left and right side, since now the images are scaled such that they are fully visible. Let's say we want to add some title text and also animate it in and out. So in the section keyframes in and out, we pick the tool fade in out opacity subtle scale, for example, and run it. As you can see, the text now fades in nicely, and it also scales up a little bit, which makes it look much nicer than just a basic opacity fade. Also note that this tool again has its own user interface where you can choose the duration of the fade and how much it scales, for example. Now let's say we also want to add some motion to the concert pictures. So we select them and run the Ken Burns pan and zoom tool. This adds a nice motion to our pictures. But working with clips is just one of many tasks where automation blocks can help. In the project management section, you find tools to work with label colors, for example. Let's say your still images should all have the color forest and the sequences the color blue. We uncheck the option to process only selected clips and run the tool. As you can see, all labels in our project updated accordingly. Wouldn't it be cool if you could see instantly if a clip has been used or not? Just select this tool, choose a color and run it. Now all footage items which have been used have this Caribbean color. Let's next do some search and replace in project item names. We want to replace concert by musical moment, and since the checkbox process only selected items is checked here, we now first select some clips and then run the tool. Of course, all selected clips update instantly. So as you can see, the tools are really easy to use, but sometimes you might run into questions like, what the hell does this allow regular expressions option here mean? To get help, you have two options. If you hover over a tool for a while, a tooltip is shown with a basic description. If this is not enough, you can also click the help button, which will bring you to an in-depth description of the currently open tool. Note that most tools have such a little icon in front of their name, which indicates that they have a user interface. A few tools, like the tools to set the in-out range, have no such icon, and if you select them, the inputs panel is empty. If you run this tool, it sets the in-out range of the active sequence to the full duration. And this one sets the range to the currently selected clips. And these tasks are so basic that there's really no use for a user interface. Now you've seen some of the built-in tools, but the cool thing is that every user can also create their own tools and even share them with others. If you click here on More from Community, you find a description of how to participate in our community. If you have any questions about creating your own tools, you can ask them in the forum, and here you can download the scripts that have been shared by others. If you make some cool tools for automation blocks, I highly encourage you to share them with the community, because an active community makes a tool even so much better for all of us. If you want to create your own tools, you need to open the script panel. Let me quickly make the panel a bit bigger, and what you can see now is the block code of the currently selected tool. Let's click the New button to create a new tool. On the left you find all the available blocks sorted in categories. Under PR sequence, you find a block to create a new sequence, for example. Blocks can be customized, so here you can choose the format of the sequence which you want to create, for example. And here you can enter the name or path of the new sequence. So if you write edits /sequence1, it will create a sequence with name sequence1 in the bin edits. Let's delete it again and add a second block to our script. This block adds project items to a sequence, and we just place it below our first block such that it is executed after it. Here we need to choose a project item which should be inserted in the sequence, or also an entire folder. So we select the footage bin here, for example, and then click the refresh icon. Now this bin has been chosen, so all footage in that bin will be added to track 1 of the active sequence. If we run the tool, the sequence is created, and here you can see the footage. If you want to learn more about what you can do exactly with a particular block, you can right-click on it and choose Help to open its documentation. The blocks are all documented in the block reference, but if you are looking for more in-depth tutorials about how to write your own tools, check out the content in the section Writing Custom Tools. Okay, that's the end of this tutorial. I hope it gave you a good overview of what Automation Blocks is capable and how it can change your workflow. Please download the free trial, experiment with the tool, and if you want to learn more, we've got tons of extra tutorials which you all find in the documentation of Automation Blocks.